Well, maybe I should introduce myself. Yeah, okay, good.
Closer. Promise one thing, you'll be careful when.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Bwize, and I'm here at the studio to answer some questions.
How important is it to have a good relationship with your engineer, and how does it impact your creative
Okay,
process?
so I think your relationship with your engineer is like super important. I mean, you definitely want to have someone that you feel safe and comfortable working with, but also someone that listens to your ideas, but also, is able to have their own input. A great engineer is like should be the number one thing I think on your list as an artist, because that's truly who makes the song, and really brings it to life. And just not having a good engineer, yeah, I don't know if the song would be as good. Um, for me, like I said, it has a true, like a really good impact on the song because sometimes I don't feel like I'm as vocally like where I should be, and the engineer can get me right where I need to be.
What inspired you to collaborate with your current engineer for the song? Why?
So my engineer that I have been working with is Kurt. I met Kurt. It's funny, y'all. I met Kurt on Instagram. But no, I love Kurt. And Kurt, we've already recorded like two songs prior to my song Whiskey, but just seeing what he did with Whiskey was phenomenal. And I felt like the energy in the room that day was like truly magical. So I knew for why it was more of like, the R&B type. And I was like, I knew for why I really wanted to work with Kurt because I felt like, once again, he's gonna help me bring this song to life. And I feel like he did that.
How does being in the studio affect the way you connect with your music emotionally?
So I think being in the studio helps me connect with my music emotionally because for one, it's all about like the studio space. Like different studios have different vibes that it just makes you feel away. But for me, I love Kurt's studio, any studio that that we've worked at so far, and it's just a vibe. But it's a calm place, and most importantly, I just gotta have my red light when I'm recording anyway. So that just makes me feel good. I don't know, it's something about red light that I gotta have.
Can you walk us through a moment during the recording of why that felt especially powerful or transformative for you?
So when we was recording Why, it was me, Kurt, and Chantel. She's a writer. We were in the studio, and there was a part in the song where it's like, "I can do you how you do." So that part, I didn't sing it like that originally, and they was like, "Yeah, no, no, you need to go back." But I felt like once I sung it that way, it added a totally like different vibe to the song, and it gave it that like raw emotion, but at the same time, like really like saying like, cause telling someone you could do something the same way they do it, but in the way that I said it was to me powerful. So yeah, don't play with me. Play with your mama.
How do you prepare emotionally and mentally before stepping into the studio for a song as vulnerable as Why?
So specifically coming in the studio to record Why, it's funny because I never get to come in the studio most of the time that I feel like I should come, which is typically when I'm writing the song and I'm already like feeling it. But I'd like to say a prayer. Like prayer is so important for me because I just ask God to help me deliver the song the best way that I can and with any emotions put behind it. So for me it's just prayer and telling myself like, you're gonna be good.
What's one thing you learned about yourself as an artist during the recording process of
I
Why?
think what I learned about myself during the recording process of Why would be that it's okay for me to be vulnerable. I think this is like the first step for me to kind of like truly start to open up more with my music and really kind of let people know what I've been through, what I've gone through, what I've overcome. So why for me is that like subtle first step. I learned that my what I feel is real.
How do you balance taking creative risks with trusting your engineer's technical expertise?
So I think it's very important as an artist to be able to take like criticism or critique or just, advice when it comes to the studio, when it comes to music. And that's what I love about Kurt the most is he has no problem telling me like that's not it. Or just basically like, you got the right melodies, but not the right words, or this needs to be like this and this needs to be like that. I love that because I need that. And I feel like it's really important because the collaboration is important. We sometimes we're in sync, sometimes we're not. And two, I'm like big on two, just kind of like being true to myself. So in a sense, if I don't like it, I be going back and forth with Kurt, like, nah, Kurt, you're not gonna have this one. Like I gotta have this. Like, but no, it's important to have someone tell you when something don't sound good.
What's your favorite part of the studio culture? And how does it influence your artistry?
Studio culture is crazy because I've been in quite a few studios, so I think studio culture is important. One, you first of all, as an artist, you should, in a sense, to me, you should know how to record yourself. So, like, there are times when you should be kind of like watching your engineer, not like what they're doing, but like, could you go by yourself and press record? Could you do this? Like, so, and just being in the studio, period, you get to meet so many phenomenal artists and people, and really get to like bounce ideas off of each other and really like, you know, talk through the music. You get to hear the sounds. You get to create instruments in the music. You get to do all kind of amazing things in the studio and studio culture. It's a vibe. Like if you've ever been in the studio, it is what it is.
For indie artists starting out, what would you say is the biggest misconception about recording music?
So I think one of the biggest misconceptions for any artist when it comes to like recording music is that going to record in somebody's basement is probably still good. Quality is very important, I think, as any artist, especially because you have so many other artists that you're out here having to compete with in a sense. While I think it's great to create your own lane, still remember that this is a business and that there are certain rules that apply. So if anything, invest in the quality of your music. Like, find you a good engineer, invest in the quality of your music, and your beats, the producers, people who you work with. Like, I think that's very important. Learn your mics, like find out what mics your voice sound good on.
If you had to describe the energy in the studio while recording Why, what words or moments would come to mind?
It was funny. It was funny, y'all, because oh my goodness. So, but it was real chill. Like it was real chill, but it was funny at the same time because I think I was like I feel like I was doing the most in a sense. Especially when I get to the ad libs, it'd be something different. But no, I feel like it was chill. Like it was calm. It was cool. It was real dark. It was red. It was my vibe. Like it was chill.
What do you look for in an engineer to ensure they understand your sound and vision?
Okay, so for me, it's all about the vocals. Like when it comes to an engineer, I'm looking for someone who can really like lay my vocals. Like you really know how to get my vocals right. And for me, so far, it's only come across two engineers for that. So I think what you're looking for, like one is you're looking for, do y'all connect in a sense? Because music is a connection. It's a way of connecting. So like I said, it's laying the vocals. Also, like, are you good with mixing? Like, can you take this and put this here? Like, that's important for me because it's your ears. Like, it's the engineer's ears for me. Like, do you got good ears? Because if not, you got to go. Okay, is that it? Okay.
What surprised you the most about the technical side of recording Why, and how did it shape the final song?
Okay, so when it comes to like the technical stuff, when it comes to like the engineer really doing his thing, that is just so amazing to watch. Like I love seeing them take the vocals, add plugins, add certain